Booyah!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. All we're here to say today is ding dong, the witch is gone. Which old witch? The twitchy witch. Yes, Chrystia Freeland has resigned. She's gone. She's out. She's been fired, essentially. Now, she tried to make it look like a resignation, but Chrystia Freeland was essentially fired from her job as finance minister. Justin Trudeau, of course, scrambling to try and find some way to bring a carbon tax carny in. There's going to be an article talking about that, and we're going to get to that. But she's not the only one. There's more Liberals fleeing the sinking ship. There's rats jumping left, right, and center. Didn't I tell you guys this was going to happen? Didn't I say it's like the Hydra attacking itself? The heads are going to start biting each other off. Let's get into what's happening today. Just a reminder, folks, if you're enjoying this content, make sure to leave a thumbs up, a comment, like, and subscribe. We're less than 100 subs away from 45,000. I really wanted to hit 50 before the end of the year, but hey, we'll take what we can get. Let's get into what happened with Chrystia Freeland. It says here, resigning from cabinet hours before fiscal update. First, let's get to her letter. Let's get to her actual letter that she sent before we get into the article. Okay, dated today, December 16th, to the Right Honorable, if you could even say that, Justin Trudeau. What a pack of lies this letter started out with. Dear Prime Minister, it has been the honor of my life to serve in government working for Canada and Canadians. Lies. We've accomplished a lot together, like, stealing from Canadians and freezing bank accounts and whatnot. On Friday, you told me you no longer want me to serve as your finance minister and offered me another position in the cabinet. Upon reflection, I have concluded that the only honest and viable path for me is to resign from the cabinet. To be effective, a minister must speak on behalf of the Prime Minister with his full confidence. In making your decision, you make it clear that I no longer credibly enjoy the confidence and possess the authority that comes with it to say, Mr. Speaker. For the past number of weeks, you and I have found ourselves at odds about the best path forward for Canada. Again, that line very detrimental because we've been talking for weeks now about how Liberals have just had it with Justin Trudeau. In fact, a lot of Liberals have been rumored to be texting the Conservatives from the bathrooms, telling them what's going on. Freeland making it obvious here that she was one who disagreed, allegedly, with Justin Trudeau. She could just be scathing over this letter. Our country today faces a grave challenge. The incoming administration in the United States is pursuing policy of aggressive economic nationalism, including a threat of a 25% tariff. We need to take that threat extremely seriously. That means keeping our fiscal powder dry today so we have the reserves we may need for a coming tariff war. This means eschewing costly political gimmicks, which we can ill afford, and make Canadians doubt that we recognize the gravity of the moment. Doesn't this sound like what the Liberal government should have been doing all along? Like, isn't it funny that when Chrystia Freeland's resigning, she says all the things that a responsible person would say? It's all filibustering. This means pushing back against America First economic nationalism with a determined effort to fight the capital and investment and the jobs they bring. This means working in good faith and humility with the premiers of the provinces and territories of our great diverse country and building a true Canadian Team Canada response. Again, why wasn't this done years ago? It's so funny as the ship is sinking that, we woulda, coulda, shoulda. I know Canadians would recognize and respect such an approach. Again, should have done it a long time ago. They know when we are working for them, and they equally know we are focused on ourselves. Inevitably, our time in government will come to an end. But how we deal with the threat our country currently faces will define us for a generation and perhaps longer, much longer. Our grandchildren's grandchildren are going to be paying for Trudeau's spending. Canada will win if we are strong, smart, and united. What? It is the conviction which is driven by strenuous efforts to follow and manage our spending ways that will give us the flexibility we need to meet the serious challenges presented by the United States. It's, again, hypocrite. I know I keep cutting into the letter, but I'm trying to point out the vast hypocrisy here. This is the woman who was spending $7,000 a month on spas and grooming, and she's talking about being fiscally responsible. Give me a break. I will always be grateful for the chance to have served in government, and I will always be proud of our government's work for Canada and Canadians. I will look forward to continuing my work with my colleagues as a Liberal Minister of Parliament, and I am committed to running again for my seat in Toronto in the next federal election. So she's stepping down and resigning, but she's not leaving her seat. She is going to run again. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean Chrystia Freeland might cross the floor? I don't know. I mean, the Conservatives wouldn't take her. I don't think, at least. That would be suicide at this point. But let's get into the article that covers Freeland here. And remember, this doesn't just end with Chrystia Freeland. There's more to come. Finance Minister has announced her resignation for the federal cabinet, blaming the Prime Minister for her decision. So it talks about the letter we just went through. So we'll skip that. We'll skip the certainties here. The post sent at 9:07 a.m. Eastern came just hours before the scheduled start to a lockup in Ottawa for the fall economic statement. Again, the government hasn't been working since September. Justin Trudeau refuses to hand over documents of the SDTC to the RCMP. Freeland knows the writing that's on the wall. And since her demotion to make way for carbon tax Carney, she's had it. Global News asked Freeland's office whether she would be delivering the fall economic statement. A press secretary said that what happens in the fiscal upstage is a question for the Prime Minister's office and the Department of Finance. So again, we don't know whether or not we'll see Freeland announce the update. Our country today faces grave challenges, and again, that was all in her letter. Freeland said that the entails pushing back on the America First economic nationalism, working together in good faith with the provinces and territories to build a Team Canada response. She expressed confidence that Canadians would recognize and respond to such an approach. Again, something that should have been done ages ago. Ages ago. Speaking to reporters before a cabinet meeting, Treasury Board President Anita Anand called Freeland a good friend. Chrystia Freeland is someone I worked with very, very closely as president of the Treasury Board and Minister of Transport. The news hit me really hard, and I'll reserve further comment until I have time to process this report. In other words, until Justin Trudeau gives her permission to speak. Freeland was first elected in the House in 2015, representing the Toronto riding University Rosedale. Swiftly advanced within the Liberal Party, serving initially as Minister of International Trade, then as Deputy PM before being appointed Finance Minister in 2020. There was no immediate reaction from Trudeau's office. Of course not. Of course. Be looking for one of two things to happen here. Either Trudeau is going to resign very quickly, or this is the sinking ship, ladies and gentlemen. People are going to say it in the comments, it's not going to happen. We're not going to see an election. Yeah, we are. Yes, we are. It's the house is burning down, ladies and gentlemen. It's all falling apart. Justin is either going to be gone, which could spell a challenge for Pierre if Carney runs against him. But let's see where the chips fall, because now Liberal Housing Minister Sean Fraser also says he will not seek re-election. Again, this is before the fiscal update. The rats are fleeing the sinking ship. This is the man who used the Housing Accelerator Fund to get his selfies. Sean Fraser says he will not be running in the next federal election, citing a need to spend more time with his family. In other words, I can't win, so I'm just going to do the honorable thing and leave. He made the announcement Monday morning at a news conference in Ottawa ahead of a cabinet meeting for the fall economic statement. His announcement comes as Freeland also announced she's leaving her cabinet as finance minister. He said he came to this decision months ago, yeah, right, while he was recovering from back surgery operation and was spending more time with his kids at home. My kids aren't getting any younger, and they're going to need their dad around, he said. Again, that's a blanket statement because, yes, guys, people are human beings, and of course, you're going to say, I love spending time with my kids, but he was a career politician. He had no issues being in the House. To say, I did this months ago, I don't believe you. Sorry. Can't spell liberals without lie. Our path to creating a family was a challenging one. We've experienced the highest of highs and lowest of lows, Fraser said as he choked up on the microphone. We've had micro-premies, lengthy hospitalizations, medical interventions, and know the pain of losing our one-day-old daughter, Ruth, who I miss every day and love very much. Again, very sad to hear that. And again, I'm not going to attack the man's family, but what I'm saying is that when this all starts to happen at the same time that Freeland is demoted, that the fall economic statement is coming out and saying, oh, I decided this months ago. Why wouldn't you have done this when Lametti stepped down? Why wouldn't you have done this when anybody else was stepping down if you thought of this months ago? Right? I mean, even when we had the other Randy, one of the Randys, I don't know, one of the 7 Randys stepping down or standing back, why wouldn't you have announced it then? Why on the day of the fall economic update? Again, my condolences to his family. I'm not a savage. I couldn't imagine losing a child. But come on, Fraser. Let's go. Fraser batted down on questions suggesting he might be eyeing a run at Nova Scotia Liberal Party leadership after the party was decimated in last month's provincial election, holding on to just 2 seats, the minimum required to maintain official party status. But he did not rule it out. Today is not about a transition to some new political opportunity. It's an opportunity to transition to being a father who's more available to his kids, he said. Fraser joins a growing list of cabinet ministers exiting federal politics. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is scheduled to chair a cabinet meeting on Monday. Again, keep your eyes peeled for that. We're going to have a video about that tomorrow because I'm guessing it's going to be very awkward. Fraser, who was a frequent target of conservative attacks over the government's handling of immigration and housing files, was considered a strong communicator and a rising star for the Liberals. Fraser said he will remain engaged in politics, but in what capacity remains to be seen, and said today's announcement is not about the transition to another political post. He was first elected as a Nova Scotia Liberal MP representing Central Nova riding in 2015, quickly rose through the ranks of the cabinet. He held several parliamentary secretary posts before he was named immigration minister in 2021. Well, we've seen what a bang-up job he's done with that. Rumors have been circling on Parliament Hill that the cabinet shuffle is coming soon to fill several vacancies and replace Liberal ministers who are not seeking re-election. Philomena Tassi, the minister responsible for Federal Economic Development Agency for Southern Ontario, Northern Affairs Minister Dan Vidal, Sports Minister Carla Qualtrough, and National Revenue Minister Marie-Claude Bibeau have all announced they are not seeking re-election. Pablo Rodriguez left his role and the Liberal caucus member in September to run for Quebec Liberal leadership. Randy left his position as employment minister last month after weeks of questions about Edmonton MP's shifting claims of Indigenous identity and his business dealings. Again, fraud, we could call it fraud or theft, whatever you want to call it. But there's almost 10 MPs there that have already fled, that are continuing to flee. We're going to see more walk away at this point. The ship is going down. Justin Trudeau's time is sharply and quickly coming to an end. Let me know what you guys think about that. Let me know what you think about all of this. Are you shocked to see Chrystia Freeland step back? Are you shocked to see Sean Fraser? Do you believe that this is a family matter, or do you think that he sees the writing on the wall? Again, I'm not trying to slam the man for having a family, just saying little coincidental on the timing there, Fraser. Let me know what you guys think down below. If it's your first time here, I hope this video has earned your subscription. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button if you can't already, because again, Justin Trudeau is coming down. There's going to be lots of videos talking about it. You want to be here for that. Make sure you click your bell for notifications. Join me live here on the channel each and every Friday night for Friday Night Fringe, our live streaming show where we talk about everything that's happened this week in politics, everything coming up in the week ahead, and some back and forth within our community. I sit down with my beautiful wife, Mrs. Fringe, for that show every Friday, and we look forward to hearing what you guys have to say each and every Friday night here in the streams. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video and have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.